Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are on this wacky planet. And fast forward, wrapped in a pandemic, tragically and sadly still, although in the United States, the death rate and hospitalization rates are turning down, and just as the vaccination rate is turning up. The vaccination effort is a mess because of the lack of federal coordination. That's changing because of things that happened last week. We had an extraordinary week here in the United States last week, as many of you understand. The change in government hopefully signals a bigger change in America toward conciliation, toward finding common paths, even with the things that divide us. They're not going to magically go away. Music always makes a difference, and that's why on Sundays, the show is all about music and the arts and finding ways to use them to connect from a distance. And the first thing I'm going to show you this morning is a video that was recorded a few days ago by some of my good friends who have connected with each other from a distance. Some of them have known each other in physical proximity for many years, but Joseph Pupe, who's in Lusaka, Zambia, wrote a song called "We Have the Power," and they had a long distance recording of it. So we're going to start with that recording and then get into our wonderful show this morning, which will focus on some spectacular guitar players later in the second hour. So here goes. Sitting here asking myself, who is going to do something? Everyone seems to be doing their one thing. I won't run because I know. Sing after me. I have the power. I have the power to change my path. To change my path. I am a champion. I am a champion. I have the power. I have the power. Leaders. I have the power. I have the power. Change my path, to change my path. I am champion. I am a champion. I have the power. I have the power. Patrick. I have the power. I have the power to change my path. To change my path. I am champion. I am champion. I have the power. I have the power. We have the power. We have the power to change our path. To change our path. We are champion. We are champion. We have the power. We have the power. We have the power. We have the power to change our path. To change our path. We are champion. We are champion. We have the power. We have the power. We have the power. We have the power to change our path. To change our path. We are champions. We are champions. We have the power. We have the power. We have the power indeed. What a wonderful recording. Thank you, Karen, and obviously Joseph, who was here a minute ago, but his internet, as always, is a challenge from Lusaka. And David Tarlow, you were on that as well, and Melissa Ortquist, wonderful, and Patrick Jones, who's not feeling well this morning. And we wish him well. What a wonderful recording. Karen, can you unmute for a second? And we'll say hello to everybody.
Yeah. Hey there. And Lori was on it too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
fantastic.
It was such a pleasure to be able to message Joseph and knowing he's in Zambia, and we're texting away, and I sent him a rough mix and we made some changes, but what a cool thing. And
Yeah, that sounded really great. Yeah.
Fantastic. So we also have some special guests who tried to come on the show. I think it was just a week ago, but we were having internet problems. And how are you both? And maybe Karen, can you introduce them? I have not met them before.
Barbara Discant and her daughter Nadine, who I know originally through People's Music Network, which is having their big convergence next weekend, which maybe Lori and David will talk about a little bit. And they've played, in this area they play, but they don't live around here, but they've occasionally stopped and spent the night at my house.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Anyway, wonderful musicians. So I'm going to mute again so they can talk.
They're from out near Buffalo, that area, part of New York State. So Nadine and Barbara, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. We're really happy that the sun is shining, which means our internet works today. So we're really happy about that. It's really nice to be here.
Satellite connection.
Yeah.
Well, we were all ready to get carried out. It wasn't going to work, and then it did. So we're very delighted to see you and that you can see us to be shared with you today.
Great to have you on. So what I sensed from getting to know, doing the sound check earlier, that you're into Celtic, Irish type stuff. But what else? What do you have on your musical minds this morning? Could you launch us into the morning with something? That'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll play you a set of tunes that we usually play for contra dances. That's most of the way that we share our music. Although the third tune is French Canadian, and as is traditional with a lot of those tunes, we call them crooked, which means that they aren't square in terms of time. So we're going to play you a set of tunes. And let's just...
Of interest that the Irish and the Quebecois lived together in Montreal in the 20s, so there actually was some overlap in the music, which is really sort of neat.
That is interesting.
And I'm from Montreal.
Oh, excellent. Here are some tunes for you.
Well, enjoy.
Go for it.
Shall
Fantastic. There was a oh wow. There's a family band. A British guy, Stephen Quilly, was he had his kids on the show maybe 3 months ago doing some fiddle tunes. They were in England at the time. Now they're in Canada. I got to get them back on because they were amazing too. I'd like to get them together with you guys. That's fantastic. What a great way to wake up in the morning.
I should mention, in case you couldn't see from the video, that percussion is being played with Nadine's feet on a wooden board at the same time as she's playing the flute. Usually we tried to put it so we could see her feet, but we ended up so tiny on the screen we couldn't, so I thought I'd better let people know that.
Well, if you come on later, you can adjust the camera. We could have a foot shot. A foot wide view.
And we should mention, too, the selections we're playing a role on this week. We put out a CD called An Early Spring, and which is available on Bandcamp if people are interested. It's really was an experience making that and getting that together, and the things we're playing are on it. And
fantastic.
We're just delighted to be here. I'm so happy the internet's working. I'm looking at the sun.
I'm delighted to have you back on here with full internet access. This was fantastic. And by the way, I'd like to have you back anytime. And don't go away. I'd love to hear from Lori and David. How are you guys doing? And what's on your musical minds this morning?
Well, David and I are, as a lot of people know, are in a band together, Hudson Valley Sally, and we haven't sung live together or performed live in a year, but we have been working together on some online platforms, learning about how to sing together online. So that's been very exciting. We're actually doing a workshop at next week's People's Music Network Convergence, where we're bringing in some of the developers of those platforms to talk about their platforms and to demonstrate.
That's fantastic. I'd love to maybe do a show on that. My Monday shows are sort of skill building. How do you use the internet? It's called Thriving Online. So we could do one that's music focused. I've actually been talking to Claudia Gibson about that too. So
yeah, I'll bet you that the people that we're working with would love to be on your show. So we could probably ask them.
And we're going to be videoing, recording the workshop. So when we
good.
I don't know when we'll have that available. We'll definitely get it to you.
Yeah.
Good. Well, let's put that on the list for some Monday coming forward. Great. Lori, so maybe you can offer up a tune after that. That was such a great way to kick off the morning.
My goodness, how can I follow that? But, but I'll try.
I know you.
Well, I've got a song that's been in my head the last few days. I woke up with it in my head the other day. Song by Les Rice that Pete Seeger used to sing. And I'm just going to go ahead and sing it. It's a hopeful song. And I think we need to be singing some hopeful songs right now. I can see a new day, soon to be, when the storm clouds are all past and the sun shines on a land that is free. I can see a new world, coming fast. People joining in friendship, and hatred is forgotten at last. I can see a new man, a new woman, standing tall, with their heads high and their hearts proud. afraid of nothing at all. I can see a new day, soon to be, when the storm clouds are all past and the sun shines on a land that is free. When the storm clouds are all past and the sun shines on a world that is free.
Beautiful, Lori.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Yes, the sun will shine. It is shining. You know, there was that horrible incident 2 weeks ago, and there's been so much hatred and division these past months. But the system is resilient, and I think its resilience has been just demonstrated so far in these recent weeks. We did have a gathering last Wednesday on the Capitol steps. It was virtual, and it was wacky and had some very funky elements. But you're reminding me of, I'm going to show a little tiny clip of it just for fun. I'm using a website called Oh Yay. It's still a beta. It's still in early development. But we had Rick and Donna Nestler and Rick Polari and Tom Joyce and Karen. I think you tried to get in. We had some trouble, but here's just a clip of what we did.
That Golden Valley, this land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. I've roamed and I've rambled, and I followed my footsteps to the sparkling sands of the Diamond Desert. And all around me, a voice was sounding. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me.
It was kind of wacky, but it sort of worked.
Andy, shouldn't you have had Bernie Sanders in there?
Oh yes, you know, I'll have to stitch in that the little muffin, the mitten man.
My wife put that picture in front of our building and posted it to the building.
Damn, that's a great idea. All right. Yeah, maybe we can make him into a little like dancing figurine with his mittens. Great idea. So, David, speaking of you, where do you live, by the way? Are you where are you located on this planet?
I'm in Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn, New York. Well, welcome to our wacky world.
Yep. Like I said, I was originally from Montreal. I've been down here about 50 years. So in my head, I was playing spoons to that song.
And I have to tell you, David, because 3 times a week, I think it's 3 times or twice a week, you're doing a sing-along. Some of the members in the Zoom sing-along are in Canada, right? And they're your siblings. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
My brother, yeah. So it's a lot of, my brother, my oldest friend who I grew up with and so forth. So it's been a lot of fun.
So what's on your musical mind as part of Hudson Valley Sally or just as David Tarlow?
I guess as David. I'm going to sing a song by Fred Hellerman. Of course, Fred was a member of the Weavers with Pete Seeger and Lee Hayes and Ronnie Gilbert. Kind of like one of the models for everything, all the music I do. And it's called Tomorrow Lies in the Cradle. And I assume from the words that he wrote it when his son was born, but I kind of see it as a song for these days too. So let's try that. All of my days were grains of sand. Never cared where they fell. Oh, but the days that wait for me now, something different to tell. Tomorrow lies in the cradle. Tomorrow has eyes that shine. Tomorrow lies in the cradle with a smile a little like mine. One little boy with a voice so loud, like a rooster greeting the dawn. One little song for tomorrow, to leave behind when I'm gone. Tomorrow lies in the cradle. Tomorrow has eyes that shine. Tomorrow lies in the cradle with a smile a little like mine. Here is my son, my newborn son, bound for a brand new day. Perhaps I can walk along with him, little part of the way. Tomorrow lies in the cradle. Tomorrow has eyes that shine. Tomorrow lies in the cradle with a smile a little like mine. Tomorrow lies in the cradle. Tomorrow has eyes that shine. Tomorrow lies in the cradle with a smile a little like mine.
Fantastic. Yay.
What a magical song.
Isn't that a great song?
Yeah, and I had never heard it. I know a lot of Weaver's tunes. I just had never heard
Actually,
that.
the one that Karen was talking about, my oldest friend in Montreal, is the one who asked me to sing that on our weekly things, and I'd forgotten it. So I thanked him for bringing it back to my mind.
Wow. Well, the resonance right now as we look to try to build a world that's more resilient and caring for generations to come is powerful.
Yep.
Truly. So we have so many wonderful guests this morning. I see that our good friend and Phillipstown native, Sara Labriola, is here. It's great, Sara, to see you.
Nice to see you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Where are you in the world right now? Are you in the city, or where are you living?
Yeah, I'm in Brooklyn right now.
Oh, well, David Tarlow, right above you in the grid here, is also a Brooklynite. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Nice.
So
Thank you.
We have Ray Pierre Humbert from Oxford, England, where he's a climate scientist and
oh, wow.
wonderful musician. We have Barbara and Nadine out near Buffalo. Which town again? They might be muted, but where are you guys out of?
We're in Hinsdale, which is right next to Olean, way down in the southern tier.
Ah, boy. Is it as cold? It must be colder than it is even here in the Hudson Valley this morning.
It was 9 when we woke up.
Yeah,
we had
18,
to get the fire started real
18 here.
Yeah.
Actually, and before we head into the next kind of cohort here, I'd love to get one more tune from you out there, Nadine and Barbara.
Yeah, we'd love to play another one. We have a set of jigs for you. The first one is a jig called Chantilly, which I wrote accidentally during a sound check at a contra dance. It was a very long sound check. We had some extra time. And the second one is called Indian Point, which is a pretty classic contra dance jig right now. And there's going to be featuring a nice blues solo from my mom. So,
oh, thank you.
Here we go.
Let's start.
magic via satellite. Wow, that was just beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so
Beautiful.
much for having us. It's really wonderful to
Oh,
get to hang out with all you wonderful musicians.
I'm determined to get you on with the Quilly family. You'll know why. I'll send you a link. So the last time they were on was a terrible internet connection. You could barely see them, but they were fiddling kids, and you'll have a great time getting to know each other. So that's my
So
pledge.
great. Yeah, we love that.
Yeah, and I see Alex DeGrassi is now also in the green room, and Joseph Pupe from Lusaka, Zambia. Let me see if I can get you all in here just before we transition. This is quite a collection of wonderful people. We've got Sara Labriola, gypsy jazz guitar player and all-around maestro. We have Nadine and Barbara in Western New York State, Laurie Siegel in the Hudson Valley, Ray Pierre Humbert, climate scientist and accordionist, David Tarlow in Brooklyn, Alex DeGrassi in California, and Joseph Pupe in Lusaka, Zambia. Joseph, we played the recording earlier, and it was wonderful. So thank you. He has the hardest time getting in here, so it's great that we can have recorded versions of his music. And Alex, it's wonderful to see you again. The last time I saw you, you were playing an extraordinarily weird instrument in Santa Cruz, California, and it'll be great to have you on here shortly to play some tunes.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, and I've been interested to have you meet Sara Labriola, who grew up right down the street from us, classmate of my younger son, and is wending her way in professional guitar playing and is just a fantastic force herself.
Right.
So
thank you. Nice to meet you.
I think we're lined up now to have Ray. Ray, what do you have on your musical mind there from Oxford, England, in the snow, especially coming off of those jigs just now?
Muted.
You're muted, I think, Ray.
Yeah. So am I unmuted now? Let's see. Do you hear me? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, good. So I had an unusual experience. I actually had to get on a train and go up to Birmingham for some home office biometrics appointment in connection with my immigration status. I hadn't been on a train in more than a year, and this felt really, really strange to be going somewhere again. I was thinking about road trip music. This tune is called 250 to Vigo. It's by the Scottish fiddler Angus Grant, and the 250 actually refers to a 250cc motorbike he got a ride on to Vigo in Spain. And it's a nice upbeat song. But I'm going to try sharing my screen. I was so excited about the snow this morning because and everybody around town was just really excited about the snow. Everybody was out from first thing in the morning. So let me just see if this works. So that I'll just show you a few snaps I took when I went out. Yeah, so this was in the. Do you see see this? Is that yeah, there it is. Yep. Yeah, so this is in the wetlands. This has been preserved as a public right of way since medieval times, and this is Port Meadow, which is immediately adjacent to town. It appears in the Domesday Book, and it hasn't ever been used except for grazing ever since the Middle Ages. And it's what's called a water meadow. So sometimes of the year, what you're seeing as a lake there is completely dry, but then it fills up with water, and there's all sorts of bird life, and it's really magical. But you don't often get to see it with snow like that. And everybody was out building snowmen, snow people, and the swans are out. The swans are starting to turn white. It was just gorgeous. The Thames is really high, so that's normally the Thames path that you see, and the bridge sometimes gets submerged, but it's not completely submerged now. But it's pretty wet going along the Thames path down at the other side of it. But absolutely beautiful. So it was really nice being out. And people love snow, and we did, and it's you don't know what you've got till it's gone, and we just there can be. Here's my little upbeat travel song.
Great. Yeah, you froze briefly. Speaking of snow, but you're back. Here we go. Ray, our signal is bad there from Oxford right now. The signal was a little rough there. We got most of it, but the last part was starting to break up. And I'm not sure if there's I imagine Oxford has pretty good internet.
So that on the internet, I don't know what it is today, but anyway.
It was beautiful. There was toward the end, it started to break up. Beautiful tune.
Oh, that's too bad. Yeah.
No, and you're reminding me of, I've done a lot of writing about paleoclimatology, past climates, and that little ice age was a time when, for that part of England, it was normal to have the frozen Thames and a lot more of that snow stuff.
Yeah. Everything you read about in Dickens and the people skating on the Thames and the wintry Christmases. Yep.
Yeah. So thank you again. We'll get there. You're. It's been great having you on this show. Just absolutely great. Well, Sara and Alex, you came on nice and early. Alex, it's like,
well, it's terrific fun.
Wait, 8:15 in California. So my fingers at that time of the morning are not doing so great. So thank you for getting up early. We've had a number of Californians on here, but it's good to have you with us. Did I mute you? You have to unmute, Alex.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Well,
I do
it's
want-
kind of how's that? You hear me now?
Yeah, sounds great.
Oh, okay. Yeah, kind of an early call for a musician, but reminds me of those days when I was starting out my career and I would get those opportunities and people say, hey, we could put you on TV before the concert if you're willing to go on air at 5 o'clock in the morning. So
I do want to briefly show a little clip of you when I saw you playing. What's the name of the guitar player, the luthier? I mean, the builder who made that fabulous construction,
Oh,
Fred Carlson.
Fred
So
Carlson.
hold on 1 second. I'm just going to show a little bit of this. It went away. I had it all set up. Oh, that's because, hold on, I got to go to Twitter, not to here.
Yeah,
I'm not the best producer.
Well, you want me to just fill a little bit here?
Yeah, talk a little, and I'm going to bring that up.
So what you're going to see is one of the many amazing creations by a luthier in Santa Cruz, California. He's originally from Vermont. His name's Fred Carlson, and he has made a career out of building unusual stringed instruments, often somewhat related to guitar, but he started out building harps, so he likes to put lots of extra strings on and mix guitars with sitars and cellos and zithers and kotos and all kinds of kora, all kinds of things. So this is something he built called the Humanitar. It has 42 strings on it, and I premiered it with Fred and another guitarist, Jeff Titus, at the Santa Cruz Guitar Festival some years ago. And that's it. Here.
All right, hold on. Let me play this clip. And if everyone can mute, that'd be great. There's Fred. So that was pretty. That whole show, it was a show of Santa Cruz regional luthiers, makers, and Alex, you also, I think you have a scimitar. You might even have it there in another one of his instruments.
I have it right here. This is a Fred Carlson instrument. It's you can see it's kind of an unusual shape. It's asymmetrical, and it's got 12 extra strings on it. They're sympathetic strings, much like a sitar. That's where the principle comes from East Indian instruments. So if I play a note, so I'm not plugged in, by the way. So this is just the sound of the instrument acoustically. Yeah, so that's what it does. And when I first got this instrument, I was so excited. I went into my local guitar shop where the guitar repairman was there all by himself, and went up to the counter. I said, Doug, check this out. Listen to this guitar. And I played a couple notes, and he said, I can fix that for you.
So Sarah, does that mean Sarah, I know you have a sitar, or maybe an actual sitar, or you used to.
Yeah, I still have it.
So do you now crave a scimitar?
I know. I just saw that. I was like, wait, I didn't have to go through all this pain of playing on a piano string, because that's what the sitar is like. It's just threaded. The main strings are just piano strings, and it's definitely kind of painful when you're learning it. But that's cool. That's a great instrument. I want one now. So
that's pretty cool. So Sarah, could again, I've known Sarah since, well, I don't want to embarrass you, but since forever, basically. She and Jack, my son, grew up together here in this little village in the Hudson Valley, and you were surrounded by music. Both your parents are musicians, but what drew you toward the kind of guitar playing you do? I don't think your dad ever had a gypsy guitar, a Django Reinhardt guitar in the house, even. So, just tell us a little bit about your trajectory and music.
Yeah. Well, I never really grew up like playing rock music. I mean, I play it now in a ton, but I never really started on electric guitar. I kind of was drawn to the fact of like an acoustic guitar, and that's the sound of it. No effects, no pedals. Though I use all those now because I got into it. But like at the time, I just kind of wanted the just raw sound and skill that it took to make it. So at first I played a lot of classical guitar, and then but what I wanted more was to be interacting with more people through that, because I just felt very isolated with that, because a lot of times it was just solo classical guitar. So, and then I heard a Django Reinhardt record, and they're all playing on acoustic guitars, and they're trading with one another, and it's lively and great. And so I found a teacher. His name is Stefan Rembel, and he wrote the soundtrack song to that movie Midnight in Paris, which I had seen, and I thought it was awesome, and I learned the song. And then he was playing nearby, and I went to see his band, and it was really, really great, and asked him to give me lessons. I think when I was 13 then, and just took lessons with him every week ever since. And then last year I played in his band for a lot of the year, so that was pretty fun. So that's kind of how I got there. Mm-hmm.
And those Machiavelli style guitars have they also have kind of particular qualities, right? Can you sort of show it off and talk about it?
Sure. This is a guitar made by this luthier, Bob Holo. He doesn't make a ton of them because he's actually, I think he's actually a lawyer most of the time, but he makes these amazing guitars, and like not many of them, but it's got a small hole here because when you're playing the rhythm or when you're playing the lead, you don't really want a lot of like open sustain, because what it is like you want this like snare sound that sort of is like a brushes, when you're accompanying someone. So that's kind of what it has here. This guitar is interesting. It has no truss rod, so in the winter you kind of have to keep moving the bridge up and down because it's really fickle. but this is the kind of guitar that we use. This here is like a contact pickup.
And I guess you don't want a lot of sustain because, again, those notes are coming so fast. That's the other thing. I mean, I have a Django record, and I used to listen to it, and it just blew my mind, especially because he had a limited number of fingers. He had lost some fingers. And how does that happen? I never tried to become good. When I was in college, I was playing Leo Kottke stuff and but not that. I just, I've never learned to sort of play in chords. And that capacity is astounding. So maybe Sarah, could you give us a little morning dose?
Sure. I mean, I usually this instrument it's played with another company, like another guitar, but I'll try to give you an effect of it.
Sure. That does it. I don't need my coffee now. Between that and those jigs this morning,
How was the sound there?
it sounds fantastic. Sounded great, crisp and beautiful.
Cool.
Really good.
Thanks.
So,
Yeah,
so, so
just a
Alex, do you have a lick that can build on that? One thing, as you all know, being musicians, it's impossible to literally jam with someone, but you can do call and response. So, maybe I'm just making this up as we go here, but if you wanted to kind of build a little bit of a back and forth thing here for like a quick riff and then a quick riff, we could see if that works. I don't know. So, Alex, what's on your musical mind?
Well, I'm being as it's early and I didn't get my studio particularly heated. I'm not used to playing this time of day. Maybe just starting to play a couple scales on.
Yeah, just sort of a quiet whatever.
But I thought I was gonna play, and maybe Sara could jump in on this, or I could give her some space and she could answer. I thought it'd be fun to play the scimitar, and I have an arrangement that's somewhat improvisational of the classic folk song Shenandoah. So maybe I could start it off, Sara, and give you some space. It's in D. And,
okay.
It's let me just. Why don't I play the quote head, and then
Cool.
And then maybe you can respond. How about that?
Great. Let's do it.
All right. So I have a little cradle here, and it's cold this morning. It's not cooperating. So here we go.
that was nice.
That was fun. I'm so tempted to try to play with you because it sounds so good. But
I know. I'm like, oh, maybe I just.
Oh my God, I think that's spectacular. I think we broke new ground here on this Sunday morning show, but we hadn't really had an effective call and response kind of a jam yet, and that's boy, that's a great start. And now Daniel Ramey from Ann Arbor, Michigan, has just joined us. Who is in his weekday work is one of the best analysts of energy issues, energy policy, and technology and trends that I know at the Resources for the Future. But when he first joined the show a few months back, he's a spectacular guitar player and singer. And I invited him to sort of stop by, and here he is. So Daniel, how are you out in Michigan? How's things going? What an amazing week last week.
Yeah, it's been quite a week. Everything's good here. It's snowy and cold in Ann Arbor. We just got back from the playground with my 2-year-old, and so you might hear some bumps and screams from upstairs. But everything is good here. Yeah, we're enjoying the weekend and going to cook some dinner tonight, stay warm, and excited to join you all and play some music. I'm sad. I missed whatever just happened, so I'll have to go back and watch it later.
It was a call and response built somewhat around Shenandoah. Alex de Grassi kicked it off, and Sara Labriola in Brooklyn played back to him. Alex is playing a sympatar, which is a guitar with has sympathetic strings built in by Fred Carlson. And Sarah's got a Macaferri style guitar by, who's the builder again of that one?
Bob Holo.
Holo. Boy, great sound. And that just works so well. So Dan, if you had a song, maybe we could try the same thing. You do, like, you've played a few songs here that have the same quality that everyone knows enough that they can hand it off. If there's one you want to try, that's what's on your musical mind? And then let's see if we can build one more round like that. It was so cool.
Yeah, I think we can do that. So yeah, Shenandoah, goodness. My favorite version of that is on the Bill Frisell album, Good Dog, Happy Man. He does all this open string stuff. He goes. Anyway, I won't play that again.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about the bluegrass tradition, which I love. One of the foundational songs there is Wildwood Flower.
Yeah.
It's pretty straightforward. So I'll play it in C, and I'll just play a little bit, and then I'll wait for others to respond. Sound good?
Sure. That's great.
Nice. So, Sarah, what's another tune you want to? We don't have to keep doing this back and forthing thing. What's a short, fun tune that perks you up in these strange days we're having?
Let's see. You want like a peppy one? We can do a more easy one. I'll do this melody by Django Reinhardt. It was actually his birthday yesterday, so.
Oh, well then for sure.
All right, this one is one of his famous compositions. It's called Nuage.
All right. Beautiful.
Really nice. And
I
sorry.
was just gonna say I remember that song because I was kind of a Django fan early on in my career, but I kind of veered away from that. But
Yeah.
But
yeah.
that guitar sounds great, and I just have if it's okay,
Andy.
Sorry, it's still early here.
Yeah, that's fine.
When I was a street musician in 1973, I was playing in the underground in London, and I went. My girlfriend, I had a girlfriend who wanted to go to Greece, and we went to Paris, and I tried busking there. Wasn't working so well, so I took my Martin D18, which I bought in a pawn shop in Oakland, California, to Pigalle, which is that neighborhood in Paris, which is known for a lot of pawn shops and music shops. So I went to sell my Martin so I could buy a train ticket to Greece, but I was very tempted because they had a Macaferri guitar in there, and it was about the same price. And I thought, maybe I should just, let the girlfriend go and, get the Macaferri instead. But I ended up going to Greece. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. Once you get into it too, it's like that's what all you can do at that time,
Yeah.
So once I started it, it was like I have to go here and I have to go here and I have to go to Samoa and I have to go to Django's birthplace, and it got like an obsession, definitely in the beginning.
Someone just posted a very nice comment there. Stephen Lee. Look at that. I don't know how you did that. Django lives. Brava, Sara.
Yeah.
There we go. Django does live on. I'll tell you, it's great that we have another generation. So, Alex, I see you have I know you have Loudon. I have a 1994 Loudon that I.
Oh, cool.
I got. It's one of the only guitars I ever bought new, and it's not new anymore. That's for sure. They're just wonderful. What's your thinking now? Do you have are your fingers warmed up enough to do a quick tune?
Yeah, I might even try something kind of up tempo. This is a piece that I wrote. I put it on my latest recording, which came out last year. It's called The Bridge, and it's a tribute to James Brown. My closet side, I play electric guitar in a local blues band sometimes, and we kind of play some blues and funk, and so I just love that style, even though it's not what I'm known for. But I wrote this piece, and it's called. I always tell people to imagine if James Brown replaced Gene Kelly in the movie Singing in the Rain.
Wow! Oh my God!
It would be. Yeah.
I want to actually see that.
Okay, it's not going to happen. I'm just not warmed up enough. I'm going to play something slow. But that just gives you.
It sounded pretty good.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I'm just not. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's still
I hear
early
you.
here in California.
I hear you. No, I'm very grateful that you're able to come on.
Okay, I'm going to play something that I can play this time of the morning. This is an arrangement of the Irish melody, famous melody, Shabig Shamor.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Do you play that in Dadgad or in which tuning? Or is that straight?
It's Dadgad, yeah. That's for
Yeah,
folks out there in the world who don't. That's just an alternate way of tuning the guitar. Yeah, it's very popular with Celtic musicians. Yeah.
I know. I in college I was listening to a lot of Pentangle, and I noticed you did something for a Bert Jansch Foundation or the like some time ago. If I'm getting things right, something I saw on the internet.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I was a huge Bert Jansch fan when I was a kid, teenager.
Me too.
I stayed up, to the wee hours, the morning, learning things off of the records, the needle drop method, play it again.
Wrecking the records, in other words.
Yeah. And he and John Renborn and then Pentangle, I loved that stuff. And, I got to meet Bert and actually take him around town back when I was still pretty young in San Francisco. And then, but yeah, there's a foundation that's dedicated to his music and teaching his music, and they put out a beautiful book, and they passed around this guitar, which was a copy of the guitar that Bert used, and had people play it and send in the video, and then sign the guitar until it had gone around through this whole community of guitar players who were had been big Bert Jansch fans, and it was So it's a great thing, the Bert Jansch Foundation.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Again, I grew up. That I started learning Dadgad. I play upside down just for and playing all this stuff upside down just makes it even that much more interesting. But that music is so special to me. Going back, Fairport Convention, Pentangle, Renborn, all those guys and women, fantastic.
Yeah.
Dan, do you have another tune you want to pop into the mix here? And then back to Sara. This is just, I hope you're all having fun. I find it a lot of fun to kind of introduce people this way and see how things go. This is really cool.
Yeah, so I'll do a jazz standard, Polka Dots and Moonbeams. It's one of my favorites to play. I'll do a little intro, and I'll just play it once around. I'm not going to.
So maybe
short versions, which is nice.
And maybe, again, if anyone is inspired, if you do it in a way that has a handoff, where some phrase going into another one, just wave your hand and maybe Sara or Alex can pick up on it. What key?
Key of G, but it's going to modulate.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll just play one through the chorus, and then pass it off to Sara or Alex or you, Andy, whoever feels inspired. Alex, make sure to unmute.
Sorry about that.
That was actually, there we go. Wow, I just love this. I'm not gonna throw in something. I'll throw in something. This is not the same tune. I'm not a jazz player, but this might fit in a little bit.
All right.
This is just great.
Nice.
You guys rock. I mean, and Alex, it's kind of cool. I would love to see you in a blues band.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's kinda
I love
great.
it. I mean, I actually started out playing. I was a huge blues fan. I mean, Mississippi John Hurt and Lightning Hopkins, Sonny Terry, Brownie McGee. That was a big part of. I mean, for me, it was folk music. It's blues, but it's also folk music. And I was a real folkie when I very first started playing.
So what drew you then into what's been your sort of métier, the real heart of what you do these days? How did you move from that into the kind of
Yeah.
playing you do now?
I kind of, I always loved the blues. I even played bottleneck and slide for a bit, and then I, got into the British Isles players that, like we mentioned, Bert Jansch, John Renbourn, Davy Graham, all that, and then I got interested in jazz, and I studied jazz a little bit when I was in college, and I heard when I heard John Fahey and Leo Kottke, I went, whoa, I could put all this together into a
especially
solo.
John Fahey.
Yeah, I could put all this. I could start tuning my guitar differently and put it all together in a solo thing. And I just started evolving these solo pieces. And I was actually playing in a band for a while. We didn't go anywhere. We were more of a garage band, and I wrote a lot of songs. I used to sing. I'm kind of a mediocre singer, so I didn't pursue that in the long run. But and then I studied classical guitar quite a bit once my career started. So I've kind of tried a lot of things. I tried flamenco. That's a whole thing you really got to be serious about. But
oh my God, yeah.
But at least so my background's quite eclectic, I would say. Yeah.
And Sara,
have you ever heard? So I just wonder if any of you have ever seen this box set. So it's early John Fahey, including him singing and impersonating his blues heroes.
Wow.
It's really weird. But if you love John Fahey, this is like, it sort of tells you where he comes from.
Weird is a word that is often used in conjunction with John Fahey. So
yeah, right. Like the Incredible String
One
Man.
of my very first big breaks came opening for him at the Great American Music Hall in San Francisco, and it was an experience. It was.
It would have been.
Yeah.
Sara, do you think? You recently backed up a pretty hot young performer. What's his name? The guy you played with?
Gus Dapperton. Yeah, it's a lot more pop rock kind of music, but that's kind of what I've been doing these days. as a person in his band, which has been really fun. It's nice to have a little bit of mix, like going on tour with that kind of music. And I think I felt like it's really nice because I really connect with like my generation there, and it's really fun. And I take things that I know from what I've learned and put it out there. And then being on tour with that and then coming back to Brooklyn and being able to pick up a gig that day and play with your friends again, like, swing music is really, I think it's like a blessing to do both, and I really love both of them. And I just like love getting off a tour after playing, a similar show most nights and being able to be like, oh, wow, we can improvise music. Like where we get to sit down and, play tunes again. It's really fun.
Yeah, it's such a challenge. Your generation, including Jack, are coming into the world at a time when you were just like, it's like you've just been shot out of a cannon. Getting out of college, whatever. You diving into being a touring musician, and then suddenly, kaboom! This pandemic, just completely explodes all of those aspirations, and that must have been really hard to deal with that.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a bummer to, have your year kind of be halted. And I think that's where I really feel comfortable is when I'm traveling and touring and also playing gigs here, which we can't really do in the winter. We were playing outside a lot, but so we haven't been able to do that. But we've been doing a lot of content things, filming things, recording and creating a lot of music. So that's been nice too.
What's the easiest way for people to find your stuff, your activity?
Well, I'm more up on Instagram, but I can put my Instagram down. Like that's usually where I post a lot of my stuff. In like videos.
At what?
It's okay. I'm putting it in the private chat because it's
I'll share it.
It's kind of a funny name. And then also you can I love. Is my favorite animal. So you can also find me on my website, saralabriola.com, which I usually post where I'm playing.
There it is for everybody. Dire newt situation.
I like it.
I love newts.
On Instagram. I do too, actually. Especially here in the Hudson Valley, how many times have we seen those little, the red F form of the newt?
I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah,
I go out in the streets.
So everybody, make sure on Instagram, dire newt situation, Sara Labriola.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
Alex DeGrassi is degrassi.com, DEGRASSI.
I have an Instagram too, although I'm way behind this younger generation. I'm playing catch up. But it's just Alex DeGrassi guitar. I can write that in.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll probably, I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
People of the older generation will probably think Dire Newt situation refers to Newt Gingrich in 1994.
Yeah.
That's
because that was that, he was a bit of a situation.
Yikes.
Yeah, we have in the redwood forest here, we have some really interesting newts. They've got those orange underside, and it's about the only. There's not a whole lot that lives in the redwood forest because it's there's not much sunlight that gets down, and there's not much food for animals. But up in the canopy, there's some unusual critters, but on the ground, it's mostly newts.
Yeah. Well, can you all hang on for another few minutes, because it'd be fun if we get just one more tune from each of you before, that'd be great if we can, just to send off into the rest of the day and into this new year. The vaccination programs are really chaotic still, but it will settle into gear, not just because there's a new administration, but because time is passing and people are learning. So we could look forward to a brighter new day here if we all keep masking and maintaining distance. And we do need music to keep us going, and we need this global connectivity we have through the internet to keep us going too. It's great to have Joseph Pupe here from Zambia this morning, who never would have met my friends here in the Hudson Valley without the miracle of the internet. So lots to do, but music matters too. So maybe one last round of songs. Dan, what's something you can sing too? It doesn't have to just be guitar. What's on your musical mind? And then Sarah, and then Alex would be great.
All right, I'll play and sing one. This one's from the bluegrass tradition. It's called "More Pretty Girls." Yeah, that's all I'll say. Mama talked to me last night. She gave to me some good advice. Said, son, you ought to quit this old rambling all about and marry you a sweet, loving wife. But there's more pretty girls than one. More pretty girls than one. In any old town that I rambled all around, but I always found me one. Well, I'm going down that old lonesome road. I'll hang down your head and cry, 'cause I'm thinking all about all them pretty little gals, and I'm hoping that I never die. There's more pretty girls than one. More pretty girls than one. In any old town that I rambled all around, I always found me one. More pretty girls than one. More pretty girls than one. In any old town that I ramble all around, will always found me one.
Just great.
Yeah, well, after I got married, I had to play that song a little less, but I still love it.
Yes, there, but you know, your spouse, I'm sure, understands it's just a song.
Yes.
Thank you again, Daniel Ramey. Resources for the future during the week and great resources, musical resources for the soul on weekends. Thanks again.
Thanks so
And
much
Sarah.
for inviting me. Wonderful to hear Sarah and Alex and you. It's a real great to be with you this morning.
Great. So, Sarah, what can you send us off with?
I'm going to play a piece by Django Reinhardt, another one. But this one is kind of, he came out with a few, actually many improvisations that he does by himself. And they're almost classical-esque, like they have sounds of Ravel and Debussy and stuff like that. And I quoted it when we were jamming a little bit earlier because it's in D, but I'll just play through the whole thing right now if I can because it's early and my classical chops aren't up to par.
That's okay.
Can I ask you a question?
Beautiful.
So
Sure.
many of I studied experimental jazz in college, a lot of free improv, and sometimes people would cite those improvisations as some of the earliest examples of freedom. Do you know to what extent like that improvisation and the other one or two famous ones were based on any structure, or whether it really was free?
Well, there's like a lot of so there's a suggestion that it wasn't really improvised. Like there was a lot of parts that he probably have pre-written before. Like, it's very classical and oriented. It would be crazy perhaps if he had improvised that right on the spot. So I think there were a few things that were written beforehand, but I think most of it just comes from his love of like Ravel and Debussy, and he was really ahead of his time, like playing in whole scales and stuff, and it's really interesting. That's one of my favorite improvisations. I think there's like 7, 8, and then there's all these other ones he does. They're really, really beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it really is.
Thank you.
And thank you again, Sara, for being on. And you're welcome back any Sunday morning. This show is every Sunday, and we got to get some guy named Art and your mom on here, Stacey too. They've been ducking and running. I got to get them on sometime. We'll work on that.
They like to sleep in. That's all.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Yeah. They're not early risers.
All right. And Alex Grassi, again, thanks for being with us from from Northern California. Where roughly are you in California?
Oh, we're in a little town called Ukiah, which is a couple hours north of the Golden Gate Bridge. It's in Mendocino County, and my wife and I also spend part of our time out on the coast near Mendocino. So yeah, and we run a summer workshop there, the Mendocino Guitar Workshop, when we can.
Yeah, right.
But it's a part of California that's not very populated. Our whole county, which is bigger or as big as LA County, I think has 85,000 people in it. So it's pretty rural. Yeah, it's great. It's wine grape country.
Yeah. All right. And I think you guys are getting a bit of an atmospheric river this week. A lot of snow in the mountains.
Yeah, supposed to get a lot of rain and a lot of snow up in the Sierra.
I saw one estimate that was off the charts, but there was a map of like 100 inches here, and it's going to be interesting.
Well, the Sierra gets a lot of snow. I believe it gets more than it gets twice as much as the Rockies. It doesn't get as cold, so it tends to be a wetter snow, but 600 inches of snow a year, I think, is the average. That's quite a bit of snow. Yeah.
It is indeed. Yeah. Well, if you could send us off with a last tune, that would be just great. And again, you're welcome back anytime you want to. You're up early, and
I want to come back and jam with these guys. Yeah.
Yeah, that was that. That by the way, this all is recorded and archived right away, so we can go back and share that moment. That was a particularly magical back and forth thing earlier. So I'll send you the links.
I'm going to keep it slow, just because it's still early here.
Mm-hmm.
And I was up kind of late last night. So I'm going to play my arrangement of that classic blues called St. James Infirmary. So,
fantastic.
And it's an altered tuning for those of you who are wondering why it looks funny.
That was spectacular.
Thank you.
I think
That was
wow.
awesome.
And this show was awesome. I saw a comment from David Ross, who's a frequent participant. We'll have David back soon, who said this is the best Sunday show ever. And I don't know. I think it was just spectacular getting the generations together. And by the way, Sara, some of the young people you know in this musical sphere, they're all welcome here too, if they're up in time.
Yeah.
So we can talk
Yeah.
about future shows. And thanks to my guests, the last round here was just, we had on Ray Pierre Humbert playing accordion from England. We had Barbara and Nadine doing traditional Irish jigs and so many more. This is Sustain What? This is the Sunday version of a show that happens several times a week via the Earth Institute at Columbia University, where I'm building an initiative on communication and sustainability. Basically, how do we use all these tools, the internet, the social media, to get better things done than we have so far. The world is a complicated place. The information environment we live in is complicated and challenging and exhausting. But here it's energizing and connecting and fostering creativity. On Monday, I'll just show you a little graphic here. Speaking of innovation, of course, that didn't work. Oh, gosh. Speaking of the internet, I was going to show something, but it's the wrong screen. We're doing a session on a new platform that's called Oyay, OHYAY.co, where you can build an environment that, like, you can build rooms that people can explore and learn on. I'm going to try to find out if they matter. Does that matter? I mean, it's cool. It's like Minecraft, but can you do something with it that makes the world better? Thank you again to Alex de Grassi, Sara Labiola, Daniel Ramey, and the others who were here earlier. And to the audience particularly, share this as soon as we're done. Get in touch with me using that little scrolling bar at the bottom with information on how to do that for ideas for shows going forward. Have a good day. Have a good year. Let's have a better year than the past one. I think the signs are that that's possible if we all attend to what needs to be done. Great to have you here, everybody.
Thanks,
Thank
Andy.
you.